Admiral, as a maritime nation, the U.S. relies on the sea for prosperity, trade, transportation, and security. We are also an Arctic nation, with the Coast Guard leading the way. Would you tell us more about your efforts leading the nation's maritime engagement in the Arctic? What are some of the challenges you're facing in this area, and what are you doing to build the needed competencies and capabilities?
Well, Michael, we've operated in the Arctic before, but it's been primarily icebreakers going up there and doing research. There's been almost an absence of human activity year-round in the Arctic. That's changing now. I spent the first 2 years of my career in Alaska. I was an ensign, a deck watch officer on a small cutter that operated up in the Bering Sea, and I can recall trying to get to Kotzebue, Alaska in July of 1976, and we couldn't make it through the ice. There was just too much ice. We couldn't get there. Fast forward 35 years later, in August of 2010, I went back and flew into Kotzebue for a visit, and from altitude, I could see no ice anywhere. So I'm just stating the obvious. The ice has receded, and with the ice receding, we're seeing a big increase in human activity, and any human activity on U.S. waters means there's a Coast Guard equity, whether it's search and rescue, environmental response, law enforcement, could be ice breaking. But we have all those responsibilities, those broad mandates that we carry out on U.S. waters. There's now more U.S. water to go out and serve. And we've seen little things popping up here and there, like cruise ships coming into Barrow, Alaska. We've seen fishermen going up there, recreational boaters who want to go up to the Arctic. But the big thing for us is this coming summer, presuming the permits are approved, Shell Oil will be up there drilling in 2 locations. They will introduce 33 ships, 2 mobile drilling platforms, and about 600 people. That is 33 ships, 2 platforms, and 600 more people than were up there last year. And they'll be transferring people by helicopter, rotating crews, which throws in the potential for rescues, so search and rescue. We know that there are environmental groups that will try to protest this, that may even try to obstruct the process. Law enforcement comes into play. We'll need to provide for the security of not only the protesters, but also the legitimate commerce that will go on. And then there's also the potential for environmental damage, which we have a responsibility for as well. So to take care of all these equities up there, we would, in most areas of our country, have shore-based infrastructure that we could operate from. We have none up there. And last 2 summers, I've gone up to Barrow to see what's available, and there's not much available there. We had a travel party at 12, and we couldn't find hotel rooms for our travel party at 12. It's not because it was tourist season. It was because there's nothing there. Even the airstrip, there's no place to hangar our helicopters or anything like that. So what we'll do for the next probably 5 years or so is we'll do like we've done throughout our history. We'll send a ship, and we're going to send one of our new national security cutters. It has a command center with worldwide command and control capabilities. We have hangars for 2 helicopters on the ship and can launch and recover them. And we've got 3 boats with boat crews that can be launched from the cutter as well. And it will supervise. It'll be like having a Coast Guard sector office up there, except it's going to be afloat. And it has the capability to launch boats and fly aircraft as well. And then we'll send a couple of logistics ships, some of our seagoing buoy tenders that are ice capable that will be up there with the National Security Cutter as well, and probably forward deploy a couple more aircraft. But we've been actually experimenting for the last 4 years. We've been sending our equipment up there, seeing what functions, what the effect of the weather is on them, to have a good idea of what we'll need to execute the mission. Problem is we haven't got any increase in resources, so any resources we send up there come off other programs that we would be doing, like longline fisheries in the Pacific, Bering Sea fisheries, drug interdiction in the Pacific. We'll have to take ships off that to send them up there. Long haul, we're going to have to come up with some plans on what we'll need for long-term shore infrastructure. And I don't think this is a cost that should be borne by the Coast Guard alone. We're looking at the talking about strengthening partnerships. We've been talking to the Alaska National Guard. I've been talking to General Jacoby out at the Northern Command because that falls within his area of responsibility. And we're working with our partners to see what sort of facilities, whether it's communications, landing strips, hangars, other things that we're going to need up there, and then we'll put forth resource proposals, making sure that we're not being redundant to something that somebody else might be doing.